Dare to struggle.
Dare to win!
Dare to struggle.
Dare to win!
Dare to struggle.
Dare to win!
Welcome, everyone. I'm very honored to be here at this CPI event. The opening plenary is going to be about the peace movement that we urgently need. So it got me thinking about peace. So I have a question for you guys. How do you make peace with a squirrel?
Doing that.
You gotta act like a nut. So when you look at that phrase, you'd think, am I gonna act crazy? It sounds like that's what our government is doing, right? It's trying to make peace by fomenting war, acting crazy around the world. But you can also look at it in the other way, like the squirrel likes nuts. So to make peace, you have to give something to get something. Doesn't that sound like a win-win cooperation? Yeah. That's what China is trying to do around the world.
We did it.
Yes. So that's very good to think about. And so thinking about peace, I also looked up some Bible verses, Romans 14, verse 19. And it says, so then let's pursue peace and build up one another. Doesn't that sound like the center of political innovation?
Yeah.
Woo! We are for a peace movement, but we are also for building each other up, for building cities, building up communities. We are not vandals. We don't want to tear and destroy the American people. We want everyone to prosper. If possible, we want luxury for all. That's what I want. So I'm so glad to find that phrase in the Bible. And lastly, I saw this quote about peace in the Course in Miracles, and it says, peace is impossible to those who want war, but peace is inevitable to those who want peace. And that's us.
That's right. Preach.
Next up, I would like everyone to stand up for the pledge. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. We pledge that we shall remember this unity.
We pledge that we shall remember this unity.
Forged at the end of the Second World War.
Forged at the end of the Second World War.
Not only today, not only this week, this year, but always.
Not only today, not only this year,
But always. Until we have built the world we have dreamed of and fought for.
until we have built the world we have dreamed of and fought for.
We pledge ourselves to build the unity of the people of the world.
We pledge ourselves to build the unity of the people of the world.
All races, all colors, all nationalities, all beliefs.
All races, all colors, all nationalities, all beliefs.
To eliminate all traces of fascism from the earth.
To eliminate all traces of fascism from the earth.
To build a deep and sincere international friendship among the peoples of the world.
To build a deep and sincere international friendship among the peoples of the world.
To keep a just, lasting peace, to eliminate want, frustration, and enforced idleness.
To keep a just, lasting peace. To eliminate want, frustration, and forced idleness.
We have come to confirm the unity of all people, to salute our comrades who have died.
We have come to confirm the unity of all people, to salute our comrades who have died,
and pledge our word that skillful hands, keen brains, and bold enthusiasm
and pledge our word that skillful hands, keen brains, and bold enthusiasm
shall never more be wasted in war.
shall never more be wasted in war.
Put your hands down and remain standing for the flag ceremony.
We start from the bottom. An American family shall have a homestead but in the land blessed by the smile of the Creator. We will continue every effort to end monopoly in business, to support collective bargaining, to stop unfair competition, and to abolish dishonorable trade practices. And for all these, we have only just begun to fight.
Highly resolved that these events shall the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
CPI! CPI!
Dare to struggle! Dare to struggle!
You may all take a seat. My name is Jeddah. I'm one of the board members of CPI, and I'm here to report the CPI's accomplishments so far this year. On February 19th, we officially sponsored the Rage Against the War Machine rally. Biggest anti-war rally in 20 years. And a reception afterwards for Scott Ritter. 160 people attended. And then on March 5th, we published the book, Where is America Going? Marxism, MAGA, and the Coming Revolution. The book was featured on the Kim Iverson show. The book has over 19 reviews on Amazon and sold hundreds of copies. A lengthy review was published on attackthesystem.com, so you should check that out. On March 25th to 26th, we held a two-day summit against hypocrisy in Washington, D.C. to counter Joe Biden's Summit for Democracy.
Genocide Joe!
Genocide Joe. 75 people attended. Peter Coffin produced a documentary about the event. On March 30th, 5 members of the Center for Political Innovation confronted Tsai Ing-wen, the so-called president of Taiwan, on the streets of New York City, saying, "Stop selling war in our country. We don't want war here." The clip went viral in Chinese media. China's Global Times featured the Center for Political Innovation in multiple articles, highlight American voices who want peace with China.
That's right. Here. No war with China.
No war. All right. On May 27th, the Center for Political Innovation joined with the Libertarian Party and the People's Party to have a rally in New York City's Union Square. and marched to the United Nations to join the New York City Peace March, organized by religious organizations. At the rally, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, currently facing brutal repression from the US NATO regime, was given a platform to highlight its vision for peace and religious tolerance. CPI was invited to address the event alongside many of New York City's most prominent rabbis and ministers and imams. CPI was afterwards invited to a reception at the United Nations with clergy to discuss plans for future peace actions. In late June, the Center for Political Innovation held a weekend workshop in Missouri. 40 people gathered for 3 days of socialist education, group bonding activities, discussion, and strategy. July 10th, the Center for Political Innovation held an event called Money and American Justice in New York City, critiquing the U.S. legal system. The guests of honor were representatives of the People's Democratic Uhuru Movement. Yes. Hands off Uhuru!
Hands off Uhuru!
Hands off Uhuru!
Hands off Uhuru! And hands off Africa.
Hands off Africa. They are currently facing government prosecution. Peter Coffin created a film based on the event. Thanks, Peter. August 6th, the Center for Political Innovation co-sponsored the National Day of Action called Humanity for Peace on the anniversary of the bombing of Hiroshima. CPI organized a rally in Portland, Chicago, and brought very large contingent to the New York City event. August 27th, CPI published Letter to Baba Vakian, critiquing a prominent U.S. communist writer for his failure to stand with Russia and China and exposing his ties to French intelligence, as well as how he was used by the FBI to intimidate Jimmy Carter and harass Deng Xiaoping. September 20th, during the United Nations General Assembly, the president of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Ibrahim Raisi, reached out to RT News asking to conduct an exclusive interview with CPI's ideological leader, Caleb Maupin. Caleb sat down with the Iranian head of state and spoke about Iran's relationship with Russia, the Biden administration, the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and the road to peace. The conversation was viewed by millions of people all over the world and translated into many languages.
No war with Iran, end the sanctions!
No war with Iran! No war with Iran! Next, in October, as Gaza faces a brutal bombardment at the hands of Israel, CPI members in Chicago and other major cities have attended anti-war rallies. Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine! From the river to the sea! Palestine to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
On October 25th, the Center for Political Innovation was selected by the Russian Foreign Ministry's Youth Office to form the National Preparatory Committee for an American delegation to the World Youth Festival.
Yeah!
CPI.
Russia!
CPI! CPI!
CPI.
CPI!
CPI.
CPI!
CPI reached out to the American Student Union and the Party of Communists, and the three organizations agreed to form the U.S. delegation to the 2024 Global Youth Gathering set for March in Sochi, Russia.
Yeah!
Very exciting. Caleb Maupin attended the International Council of the World Youth Festival. On November 4th, CPI was a co-sponsor of the Black People's March on the White House in Washington, D.C., highlighting the Uhuru movement and the persecution by the U.S. Department of Justice. CPI member John McCarthy, where are you? Was invited to speak at the rally and afterwards had dinner with Chairman O'Malley and other leaders of the Uhuru movement who personally thanked CPI for our hard work in support of them. November 19 to 20, CPI President Elizabeth Young attends the 5th International Conference of the World Anti-Imperialist Platform in Athens, Greece. Elizabeth speaks to the gathering, highlighting the urgent need for anti-imperialists organizing in America and explaining CPI's role and activities. So throughout the internet, one will repeatedly find the claim that CPI no longer exists or CPI has dissolved. This is complete nonsense. In the year 2023, CPI has accomplished a lot more than in the first several years of its existence, probably more or all previous years combined. The focus on CPI in 2023 and in the upcoming year of 2024 will be on really taking to heart our slogan, out of the movement,
To the masses!
out of the movement,
To the masses!
out of the movement.
To the masses!
Social media is much more controlled than before, and online recruitment and activities have their limits. CPI is reinventing itself to become an outreach-oriented organization with members witness socialism in neighborhoods to their co-workers and friends. CPI wants to reach people who would never go looking for this kind of message or ideology. So we call on all people who want to find their voice, want to join a community, want to spread hope amid so much pessimism, to join our ranks. We will put you to work. So much needs to be done to build an anti-imperialist movement and network of activists in America. All right, next up is a greeting from a man I truly admire. He's the ideological leader of CPI. He's an RT journalist, wrote a lot of books. He inspires us every day. He's such a good friend. No other than Caleb Maupin.
Really happy to look out at this audience right now. I'm seeing a number of new faces, people that I have never met before, and that makes me smile. It makes me very, very happy. But I'm also seeing a lot of people that I know pretty well, a lot of people who have given their lives to come together to try and get something done. And they know the joy of being part of an organization, being part of a community. And they know what it means to take a tough stand and say things that are sometimes unpopular. But when we have our opening panel here this morning, we're not taking an unpopular position. What we're here talking about in this opening panel is a position in which the American people overwhelmingly agree with us. Poll after poll after poll has shown that the American people do not want more military interventions and foreign entanglements around the world.
That's right. Stop the wars.
We are in the majority. We have the majority position, and this has been the position of the American people for the last decade. During the Vietnam War, the anti-war movement had the difficult task of trying to convince the American public to turn against the war. We don't have that job. The public is already against these wars. They're against these foreign interventions. They're against spending billions of dollars around the world for death and destruction. However, our challenge is building the movement that can give expression to the anti-war sentiments that are already overwhelmingly there among the population.
That's right.
So why is it that the American people are against these wars? Well, I'll try to give you an answer to that question. You go to any gas station in this country, you stand there and you wait, you're going to see a car pull up eventually. And that car will have a mother in the front seat of the car. There'll be kids in the back seat. She will go to the gas pump. She'll very carefully take that gas pump out. She'll very carefully stick it into the gas tank. And she'll be watching the meter very carefully, and she'll put just $10 worth of gas into the car. Now, why is she doing that? Because $10 worth of gas, that'll get her kids to school for a couple days. Right? $10 worth of gas will get her to the grocery store so she can get some food and feed her family. She's not filling up that tank because she can't afford to fill up the tank. She's just struggling to get by. She's budgeting. And when we think about that reality, what Biden inflation and what the gouging and driving down of living standards is doing to American families, there's millions of people in this country who are saying, we're tired of this shit. Say it with me. We're tired of this shit. We're tired of this shit.
We're tired of this shit.
When we see the situation in the country getting to the point that our roads and bridges are falling apart, we're saying we're tired of this shit.
We're tired of this shit.
When the next generation isn't offered good-paying jobs, just a life of student debt and opioids, we're saying we're tired of this shit.
We're tired of this shit.
When we have a situation where we're seeing relatives, family members, people from our communities coming home from overseas, scarred and traumatized to the rest of their lives for what they saw, we're saying we're tired of this shit.
We're tired of this shit.
And then, when we see our politicians get up and pledge allegiance to Ukraine and pledge allegiance to Israel while this country is falling apart, we say we are tired of this shit. Are we not tired of this shit?
We're tired of this shit. Defund Ukraine.
Absolutely. Defund Ukraine.
Defund Israel.
Yes.
Israel.
And rebuild America.
Yes. That's right.
Now, you'll be hearing from me tonight. I'm going to give a presentation tonight because I do have to clear up one thing. And some people, despite all the flags in this room and all the patriotism, some people seem to be under the impression that we're anti-American. Well, they're wrong. We love America. In fact, we love America so much that we can tell the truth. If someone's really your friend, if someone really cares about you, they will tell you what you need to hear, what might not be easy for you to hear. And we are here because we love this country, but we know that there's a big group of billionaires and monopolists and corporations that don't love this country. And we think that if the American people could assert their will and their desire to end these wars, this country could be completely reborn. We could see a whole new country. I think there could be a vibrant civilization state right here on these shores. I think if we offered a hand of friendship to Russia and China and Iran and Venezuela and all the countries that are currently under attack, if we had an economy based on growth, not fictional profits for big corporations and bankers, things could get a lot better. And so that's what we're going to be hearing out throughout the day. But today, we have some of the best and brightest anti-war voices from this country and from other parts of the world that are here to speak to us.